Hello and welcome to Redmen TV. It's Jonathan here after possibly the most boringest, drabbest, most meaningless Merseyside Derby of pretty much as far as I can remember. A game that was flat coming into it, and that's 100% down to the TV schedule. And like when you look back on it now, it's completely madness to expect what we saw here is a result of what was the brain dead of just where money really talks. But look, let's not get too much into that. It resulted in a number of changes had to be made to the team, and it was pretty much turned from our point of view into pretty much a glorified friendly, really. A blast of changes. The positives that I'll take out of the game are pretty much that, we got the likes of Klein, Ings, Solanke, Genie as a 6. Just got them game time really, and touch wood and all that. It appears that we got by unscathed. Doesn't appear to be any injuries afterwards, and that's the most important thing we have to look at. It's sad really, because you look forward to Derby so much. They're the games that you pick out at the start of the season when the fixtures come in. Usually the place is buzzing, but it was reflected on both sides. It wasn't just Liverpool. Like the Goodison, I've never heard it as a dead. It only picked up a bit of pace and a bit of energy and a bit of noise for the last little bit of flurry of chances they had in the last 10 minutes there. So, but up until then, it can be completely soulless and dead. And the only noise that you could hear off the home fans was just the negativity. Like they're in a bad place at the moment. You can see all's not well with Allardyce there. You could even see with Rooney's reaction with him, that handshake or whatever you want to call it with him. And things aren't well. And I was fearing coming into this that we pretty much were a sitting duck here. We had to make all these changes, and the players that that played the second game in a row, there's no way they can be match fit, or there's no way they can be fully effective. So I was part of me was a little bit worried coming into this that Everton would really raise their game and get stuck in here and get in our faces and make it really be really, really aggressive, and really make it difficult. And you'd almost hear the worst of times, but that didn't happen. And I think in a way that's probably down to the sharpness and the nous and the match intelligence that we showed to start off the game. The formation seemed to be one of those that kind of changed a couple of times. I have to watch it back on the high cam to make it even clearer. But we kind of seemed to swivel between a 3 and a 4 at the back. The players seemed to know their roles, but moved, interchanged quite a lot in between those different various roles. And we kind of sat a little back, but just took just sucked the life out of the game straight away. And just played nice and sharp, nice and smart. And we kind of pressed up as a unit then, and never really got them to get that. That first big tackle didn't come in, and that first big chance didn't come in. Completely sucked the life out of them, and Everton were a little bit more cautious there. Then as a result, and we were able to just grind on the win. And you'd go one step further. You said, like, if we had a first choice team out there, we'd have destroyed them in the first half, or even if we had one more attacking player up front, out of the three. We really would have, we could have gone on to score a number of goals, because as it was, we created a couple of chances. The one for Solanke, for me, he's just a player that's just missing that. I don't know if it's just confidence or if it's quality. Like he's shown before, he is a quality player. He has a lot of attributes that are, that could potentially make a top end striker, but there's just something missing at the moment. And he should have buried that chance in the first half there. Yes, Pickford makes a good save, but the ball should have been either side of him. And if we'd a handful of other chances, Pickford makes a good save from Millie, and there's a couple of other half chances where we breaks away, where we look kind of effective but with the handbrake on, if that makes sense. You always felt there was a bit of kind of a reserved caution. Let's just get through this game unscathed and concentrate onto the bigger games. It felt that way, and it looked that way at times. And Everton didn't really create a lot in the first half. Karius makes one very good save, and it's interesting to note, that I think I saw someone tweet at the time that Karius is now making the saves that Mingla used to make, that used to keep him in the team. He's just he's in the top of his form. He's confidence, like while Solanke's maybe needing that a bit of a boost. You certainly wouldn't say that about Karius. A good save. He's dominant. in the air. His distribution is good. He's moving the ball quickly and smartly. And it was an excellent save from Balassi after, I think we'd given the ball away, and Balassi's given way too much time, and he curled a nice shot in that Karius was able to save, thankfully. But game was just dead zap. There's not really much I can say in terms of match reaction apart from it was just kind of meh. We got through it unscathed. Made a couple of changes in the second half. We in the second half at the start we kind of pushed up. Had a lot of the ball camped outside the box, but we were crying out for someone down the left wing to make a run down the left wing, because at times it was just Clavin there and everyone, and he was forward but he was tucked in, so the ball was coming in the middle and it was just primarily having to go out to the right side. And we were just like the likes of Robinson, even Moreno, to be fair, would have been very valuable there. Just add a little bit of width to it. But we make the changes, and it's interesting to note all the changes are kind of much a player coming on that's probably going to be playing Tuesday night, taking off, and then nearly another player. You've Bobby coming on for Manny, you've Ox coming on for Millie, and then Trent comes on at the end just for Ings. Ings was gassing a little there at the end, and just Trent kind of pretty much just to see out the game. And it was kind of striking in a way that the first positive run, direct run we made was Chamberlain when he came on straight away and he shoots just over. We were crying out for that, because it's interesting to note. I looked at the average player positions there at half time, and we're all bunched in the middle, pretty much in the middle of the pitch. And it just showed that there wasn't enough direct runs. In the first half there, we were like, usually that's something we were quite good at, but it was just missing there, and it was probably one of the most weirdest left hand sides I've ever seen in a Liverpool team. There towards the end, you had Bobby who come on who looked like he couldn't give a toss really. It wasn't the usual Bobby that we come to expect, and then Clavin behind him, so it was interesting to say the least. To kind of summarize the game and to look at it really, the positives I'll get is Klein. I thought he had a very good game. I thought he showed a lot of aspects to his game that you wouldn't necessarily expect with somebody that's been out for so long. I thought he provided good defensive cover. I thought he looked sharp. He looked sharp in both a defensive and attacking display. There's a little flicks, little volleys, little just movement. He looked sharp. He looked like he could just come back into the first team straight away in a bigger match, and that's great, because with Gomez out, and we can't expect Trent to play every game, so it's good that we have that option there. The big one then for me is Genie playing as a 6. We're pretty much destroyed with options with 6. Particularly, he could even have to play there Tuesday night, depending on how Chan recovers, and Henderson suspended. Even if Henderson is available, he's not going to be able to play 2 or 3 games a week. Chan, we don't know what's really going on, so that really only lives with kind of Genie being the number one, next one to play that 6 role. And he played a little bit there in pre-season, and I thought he was quite effective today. Now, let's be honest, it's not the most challenging game to play, and that game won't be the most challenging. But I thought he was sharp on the ball. I thought he was strong. I thought defensively he showed good intelligence. He covered well. He got his foot in when he had to, and it's definitely food for thought there with him. I suppose the other things you look at is just getting Solanke, getting game time. I thought his touch was off. He's just missing. The chances even in the second half there, and he's kind of 2 kind of blocks where he's just not getting them away in time. And the one in the first half he should have scored. Like you can't fault his work rate or anything like that, but struggling a little bit just to make that next step. Ings as well, good to see him on again. Kind of started pretty well, then kind of faded, came back into it a bit. Definitely faded at the end. Fitness is something that needs to be worked on. But look, it's another option. It's another body. We're crying out for bodies at the moment. And look, to summarise, look, we've made a blast of changes. They haven't really hurt us apart from a flutter at the end. We were there for the taking. They didn't take us. Looks like we've no injuries, touch wood and all that, and pretty much march on to Tuesday night. That's really all I can say. Yeah, definitely not a game to be watched back closely again. Definitely won't make many highlight packages out of that. But there you are. That's been my match reaction. We'll Hopefully have more exciting days ahead, but for now it's not quite job done, but it's kind of job not fucked up for want of a better word. Okay folks, that's been my match reaction. I hope you've liked this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the Redmen TV, and we will talk to you all very soon. Up the Reds.